It is Marketing Edge on TV, Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. A 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I'm Oluwabukola Omoni. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. As 2024 unfolds with a mix of optimism and uncertainty, with global growth projected to slow to 2.9%, according to a report by International Monetary Fund (IMF). Some industry leaders who spoke with Marketing Edge on TV gave their projection for the year, which they said would be a remarkable journey of growth and transition. They expressed hope that the economy would regain its poise while underlining the need to continue policies aimed at bringing down inflation, build consumer confidence, revive global trade, and adapt fiscal policy to meet long-term challenges.
Personally, the truth about it is, for me, I'm taking it a day at a time. We're looking at it because Nigeria has gotten to the point where projection is actually pretty much a different kettle of fish, you understand? So we're taking it a day at a time. We're working as best as we can, harnessing all it is that we can together and trying as much as possible to put our best foot forward for both the client and for both ourselves as an agency.
As of last year, we can boldly say that you can forecast for what is going to actually happen in 2024. But in reality, 2024, even if you go to some shops, there are not prices on some products because even the people that sell them don't know the price of that product tomorrow. So it will only be forecasting blindly if you really want to plan towards the end of this year, because a lot of things are not working.
The year 2023 was a year that was full of so many uncertainty because of the anxiety that was caused by the elections that happened early last year. Then there was a slow takeoff of the economy. The pressure on the Naira was so high that the Naira lost so much value. But the year 2024, it's looking promising because economic activity has started off. A lot of companies who want to make up for what they lost in the previous years. And subsequently, a lot of major activities that are coming up. For instance, the AFCON, we can see spend on marketing. The Euro 2024 is coming, and we can see a lot of spend on marketing. And over this period, there's an anticipated increase in the minimum wage, but we don't know how soon that will happen anyway. But fine, this will also increase the purchasing power of the consumer. So this year is looking very hopeful. Tensions have come down with the judgment of the Supreme Court on the last election, and we can see that economic activities are taking off faster than it happened last year.
In a world of fierce competition amongst agencies, many have come to agree that it is expedient to not just flourish or stay afloat in business, but to leave a lasting impact on the community in which they operate by redefining their agency's distinctive brand promise and setting unique selling propositions which cut across quality, price, and customer service to beat competition. Marketing Edge, in no particular order, undertakes an unbiased approach to list top agencies that have been consistent with some very impactful CSR initiatives over the years. These include Nimbus Media, SBI Media, Brands Optimal, First Catalyst, Media Fuels Denso Nigeria, Oracle Experience, GDM, Elevate Media, Extreme Ideas, Plural Media, 4Pule, Invent Media, Noah's Ark Communications, CMC Connect, Perception Managers, The Hook, and several others. Maureen Umi Ifada has been appointed as the new Marketing Director Sub-Saharan Africa Cluster at Friesland Campina Wamco, Nigeria's leading dairy company. bringing nearly 2 decades of diverse experience in marketing and brand management to a new role. Her journey at Friesland Campina began over a decade ago, where she held various positions of increasing responsibility. Most recently, she served as the head of channel and category development for Sub-Saharan Africa. In a similar development, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings have appointed Femi Otedola as the new chairman of Board of Directors. FBN Holdings notified investors of the new development in a corporate filing on the Nigerian Exchange Limited recently. The appointment came 2 years after Otedola became First Bank Nigeria's single largest shareholder by increasing its stake to 7.5%. Global beverage company Coca-Cola is conducting a limited trial of label-less packaging for on-the-go Sprite and Sprite Zero products as part of its efforts at diminishing its carbon footprint and environmental impact. To achieve this strategic move, the labels on single 500 ml bottles of Sprite and Sprite Zero will be temporarily removed and substituted with an embossed logo on the front of the packaging. Additionally, product and nutritional information will be laser engraved on the back of the pack. Tesco head of packaging, James Bowe, explained that the objective of the trial is to evaluate both consumers' reaction and the practical feasibility of the initiative. Should the trial prove successful, it may set the stage for the widespread implementation of label-less packaging throughout Coca-Cola products' portfolio. That was brand news. Next is Brand in Focus right after the break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Now on Brand in Focus. The marketing landscape has undergone remarkable transformations over the past decade, but the need to connect and engage with consumers still remains a key priority to generate sales and drive customer loyalty. In recent times, customers' expectations from brands have rapidly evolved, especially with the rapid digital transformation. Today's consumer wants to optimize its purchase journeys from end to end to enjoy lifetime value. This includes in pricing, packaging, value creation, affordability, and availability of the products. With this in mind, packaging has become a multifaceted tool in branding and marketing strategies for many brands in helping to enhance consumer experience and also deepen connection as a storytelling medium. Globally, brands are investing heavily in packaging to ensure that it can seamlessly align with their values, missions, and brand story to create memorable customer experiences as well as contribute to environmental sustainability. This is with the foresight aspirations that go beyond wrapping a product but telling a story, creating recognition, and enhancing the overall customer journey. It is a function of both physical distributions as well as advertising. Hence, it is essential to use the latest techniques and materials for packaging. According to a report from Mother Intelligence, it is projected that Nigeria's packaging market size is growing rapidly with viability for more market penetration and expansion. It posted its previous growth at the value of $0.86 billion in 2023, with an expectation to grow at $1 billion by 2028, at a cumulative annual growth rate of 2.96%. Which will last throughout the forecast period of 2023 to 2028. However, statistics from the German Machinery Association has revealed that in March 2022, Nigeria invested €390 million in food and packaging technologies, surpassing South Africa, Algeria, and Morocco to become the continent's second largest investor in the field behind Egypt. It said Nigeria also overtook South Africa as the continent's top importer of plastics technology, adding that packaging market in the nation is anticipated to increase positively fueled by several factors. Today, successful brands understand that most profound marketing elements, such as packaging, should not be underestimated in branding and marketing strategies, as it helps to hold and reflect brand's promise. Next is Industry Conversation, where we have discussions with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. My guest today is a leading professional in the IMC space. Join me right after the break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Welcome back to Industry Conversation. My guest today is an astute IMC strategist, the Managing Director of Starcom Media Perspectives, Mr. Jude ODIA. It's a privilege to have you join us on the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
I wish you the same, sir.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Okay, I know that you're a leader in the industry, and so I want us to start with your assessment of the Nigerian advertising industry, especially the media planning and buying space.
Okay. I usually start by saying that marketing communication is a subset of the Nigerian economy, right? So whatever happens to the economy, good or bad, has a direct implications for us, right? We all know what happened last year, election year, our business started slowly, right? Quarter one, quarter two, quarter three tried to pick up, neither here or there. But the important thing to note is that just like most election years across the world, all right, advertising spend usually should go up, right? So for example, this year in the United States, projections that advertising spend could go up because of the elections. However, ours is kind of reversed. It doesn't really go up because there are some, as it were, strategies used to ensure that, as it were, in election years, advertising spend is not actually like a cash in the pocket investment. There are other strategies used to advertise without having to use actual cash. That's a Nigerian strategy for you. So we didn't see that direct increase in spend because of elections, right? However, what we see is shifts of spend across channels, right? So there's a speculated possible single-digit increase in our ad spend. I'm yet to confirm that. But you see that the growth is going more to the digital space as against traditional space, right? So that's one thing noted. Then you're beginning to see a lot of what I call the increase of field marketing as against the C marketing. C marketing is a general top of mind awareness we see, right? So just see my ad on TV, see my ad on outdoor, right? That C advertising is that's plateaued and is gradually going down. What is much more powerful now is the field marketing, which is where you see the real stuff they call experiential. You're seeing big-time influencer content marketing, and you're beginning to see the convergence of digital and experiential marketing. They're beginning to give it a good blend, and that is where the immediate potential growth is going to come from, right?
Okay, great. So what would you say are the major milestones of the industry last year, and what was the impact it had on the industry?
Milestones, if I have to, I'll have to think about that because last year was predominantly politics and all of the stories that come with it, right? Our industry, it was more like trying to find relevance, especially the traditional business. We're still fighting for relevance. We're still trying to realize that it's no longer so much of the traditional strategies that will take us to where we want to get to. It's now big data, it's now platform, it's now experience, right? So we need to mature quickly, all right? except other people who arrive earlier to the table, we eat our lunch. So things are moving on a constant basis.
Okay, so let's talk about challenges then.
Yeah.
What would you say were the challenges the industry faced last year, and how were professionals able to combat those challenges?
For me, one of them, you could say, trying to find a way to put better regulations in our market. It's welcome. However, there needs to be alignment from all the ecosystem players to ensure that we do it smoothly. Still a learning curve for us. We have a lot of things to learn there. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is we're still trying to find a good blend between the offline and online marketing. All right? Some people are on the extreme. So it's either somebody tells you, oh, digital marketing is it, online marketing is it, traditional is going to die. Traditional guys are somewhere struggling to survive and we're still going to be relevant. And I'm saying none will go to the grave. Digital has come to stay. Traditional media will remain there. However, the consumer will continue to morph. And the consumer does not, as it were, engage in these two divide in isolation. So they could be on digital at the same time on traditional. So how best do we understand how to integrate communication for the consumer? So it means a blend of your mainstream and digital. So whoever can learn how best to blend it will win ultimately. But you can't stay at the extreme and eat the bigger pie. You need to come to the middle where you integrate very well and have the consumer at the heart of all you do. Then you become very, very relevant in the space.
Okay, great. So let me take you on the traditional advertising. What do you see to be the future of traditional advertising?
Is it globally or locally?
Both.
So globally, to a large extent, what you see is that we will no longer play traditional media the way it used to. So if you go to Europe or US now, they no longer say things like TV. You see things like video, right? They calibrate it as video, all right? Video can be on your normal TV. It can be on your social network platforms. So people need to understand that, as it were, the currency right now is content, all right? The currency is content. It's no longer the platform. It's the content and how you use the content across platforms. For example, the way you use content on regular TV is not the same way you use it on your social space. There are adaptations, there are specifications, there are nuances, all right? So that's what we need to bury ourselves in learning. That's number one. Number two is that, to a large extent, we still haven't understood how to best integrate them, all right? I still see a lot of plans. It's still traditional, and you hardly get a blend where you can calculate metrics across the two. Do you understand what I'm saying now? For example, in Europe, they can give you metrics that is a blend of the two. It's like an aggregate. We need to get there, all right, so that people can know when I can move spend from one space when it's like saturated to another space. But it has to be scientific. It has to be proven so that the clients or the guy spending the money will understand why I need to move from here to here. It's not a blind choice or decision making. Fantastic data.
All right. So let's talk about trends. Last year, we saw a couple of trends. In fact, it was a surge of trends.
Yeah.
What do you see as some of the trends that might come on this year?
More of content, snackable content. Apart from what our Nollywood guys are doing, they're doing fantastically well with originals that are breaking records across both locally and internationally. But from marketing point of view, we need to redefine content. The traditional TVC mode is going away, right? Many people are no longer ready to spend big budgets to shoot a TVC, right? So we need to understand that, and get on with it. The other thing we need to understand is, to a very large extent, it's difficult to control the what you call the spillage of foreign content into Nigeria. And that borders on regulation. It's difficult to regulate content across borders. because we're in a globalized space where it's no longer like the world. It was like it's like a kitchen, right? So we need to be careful with regulation of content. If we are not careful, it might actually, be haunting us in terms of both revenue and even how we practice, right?
Okay, great. So let's talk about influencer marketing. What is your opinion about influencer marketing? Do you think influencers play a pivotal role to brand campaigns?
There is no doubt about that. I think it was last year or last 2 years I had said on this program that the space to watch is actually content marketing, because influencer marketing is within that same space, content marketing. So in Nigeria, it's gradually, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And let me tell you why it is looking the potential is looking this way, is because there's this immediacy in how you measure the impact of it, right? There are metrics that you can see on the go basis to show you what can potentially be the impact, right? For example, if you have an influencer that you are aware of the kind of numbers the person is commanding in the space, and you connect, all right, in terms of what you do content marketing and all of that, there are possibilities of you correlating what you spent on that influencer to the sales that you made within a particular period, right? Yeah, I've seen metrics that are developing now where you can actually say, this influencer at this point, we had events, there were meet and greets, this number of people had experiences with the ambassador, with the brand, and in 6 months later or 3 months later, there is a considerable spike in our sales, or either in volume or in value. That is something that clients are interested in because there is a quick way to assess return on investment, right? So it will continue to grow. The reason is because traditional media hardly can give you that. Even if it gives it to you, it's delayed. Do you understand? It's not as immediate as what you see. So for me, where the interesting thing lies is, how do we aggregate all of this and say, you know what, if you did offline and you did online, you did content, influencer, how do we aggregate everything and say, okay, fine, this is what each and every one brought to the table, and this is the aggregate value of all of them. That is the next place to be.
Okay, great. So talking about measurement, how are professionals, or how do they need to effectively track success of campaigns? What is the measurement method?
I think the digital space is beating us to it. They got it right from the onset. It's automated. It's foolproof to some extent. I know there's some people say there's some back-end stuff, but at least they've got it. Traditional was still struggling. I think it was last year or last 2 years, the government tried to set up a measurement. I don't know where we're at it, but even if you ask me, right, I think we're a bit too slow for the kind of progress we want to see in this space. The fact that we still don't have, what you call recency, in our data. People are still bantering one and the same thing, just in different form and shape. The point is that we need to really get better in terms of how we aggregate and how we use data in Nigeria, no doubt.
Okay, great. So let's talk about the future of media planning and buying in Nigeria alongside programmatic advertising. What's your view about that?
Programmatics, of course, is what you call precision marketing, right? The fact that it preaches both efficiency and effectiveness, right? I know who I am targeting. I can target the person. I can prove to you that this person received this. I can even give you an idea of what was the change in behavior afterwards of that same person, right? If you have to compare offline and online, traditional media was still very much struggling in that. and that's one of the reasons where it looks as if it's difficult to actually sustain or prove relevance in traditional media because people want to see real value, right? I keep giving this instance. If you go to a medical doctor, right, says you have headache, they give you a tablet, you drink. After 6 hours, you are relieved. We need to get to that space where people can hold hands and say, this is what advertising did for my business. Some of us are trying to, but we need to get to a point where both parties or all parties are really on the same table to say, yeah, this is the value that we did bring to the table.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
And that's the much we can take on this week's episode of Marketing Edge on TV. Join us same time next week for the concluding part of our conversation with the Managing Director of Starcom Media Perspectives, Mr. JUDE ODIA. I am Oluwabukola Omoni. Bye for now.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch. Sometimes, it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa, as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat. It's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Hello, NIDA Impact lovers. We have good news for you. In the quest to keep Nigerians abreast of the happenings in the digital space, NIDA Impact, a flagship TV program of the National Information Technology Development Agency, is now showing here on Television Continental. It is, as always, educative, informative, and innovative. NIDA Impact. Keep a date with NIDA Impact, your guide to a digital